When I first moved to San Francisco 25 years ago, I never imagined living in a city. But the longer I lived here, I love it, and I can't imagine living anywhere else. In this video, I'm sharing some of the biggest lessons I've learned about living in San Francisco. This is not your typical video about how expensive it is or that there are homeless people here. These are 5 things that I really don't think you would know unless you actually live in San Francisco. So if you're curious about moving to San Francisco, or you just want to know what life is like here, this video is for you. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe so more people can find out what it's like living in San Francisco. Okay, let's get started. The most important thing you need to know about living in San Francisco is that driving your car can be expensive. And I don't mean the cost of gas, I'm talking about tickets, meters, and parking rules that will drive you crazy. For example, they have hours between 4 and 6 where there are more buses, so they restrict anyone from parking there. And what most people don't realize is that you have to read every sign around your car. And so those cars get towed because they had no idea. And then you go down to get your car out of the tow yard, and there's another $100 ticket for parking in a towaway zone. And then there's street cleaning, and this varies every different day, different streets, different times. Again, read the signs, because if you don't move your car, there's going to be a big fat ticket on your window that will make sure you don't ever forget that again. And then there is the meter maid. This is the most unliked person in the city. I swear I've had a ticket for being 1 minute past the 30-minute parking. And I showed the meter maid that I paid, and she just gave me the ticket and said I shouldn't park in a 30-minute zone. I mean, these people are ruthless. So, I've also had tickets for not turning my wheels the right way. I've had tickets for, so many things. Parking 12 inches away from the curb, parking in a neighborhood longer than 2 hours. I mean, I think you get the point. At the end of the day, take an Uber, take public transit, because it's not worth the stress of what a ticket will be on your car if it isn't towed. Okay, so on to number 2. The second thing you need to know about living in San Francisco is just how old this city is and what it means for the homes here. San Francisco grew up in the early 1900s, and many of those homes are still original. And honestly, it's amazing how well they're kept up after 125 years. As a San Francisco real estate agent, I've seen so many homes built in the early 1900s, and the quality of construction they had back then is amazing. These homes are so well preserved. But what a lot of people don't know is the early homes, they used gas lines for lighting, not electricity. And so many of the Victorians still have hidden gas lines under the the moldings where the light fixtures are. And then there's underground propane tanks that they use for heating. And most of them have been removed, but they'll still pop up every now and then. And when a buyer purchases an older home, they often have underground tank inspections. And if there's still one there, the seller has to pay to remove it. And then there's the foundations. They can often be brick, and then early electrical was knob and tube wiring. There's just so many things that you need to know when you're buying an older home here that most people don't know. And because the weather is so mild year-round, most homes don't have air conditioning. I get this asked all the time if a property has air conditioning, and there's only been one time in 25 years that I've lived here where it was so unbearably hot for 2 weeks. And the funny thing is most restaurants are so old, they don't have air conditioning either. So you go out to try to cool down and you can't. So the new construction downtown has AC, and a lot of the newer restaurants have it. But other than that, the older neighborhoods don't have it. So just FYI. So if you're moving to San Francisco and buying a home, just be prepared for all the little quirks that come with it. At least you know what to expect. And a lot of homes have been updated, or if they're original, you're going to get it for a ridiculously good price. Okay, If this has been helpful so far, make sure to like this video right now so more people can learn the truth about living in San Francisco. On to the third thing you need to know. And this one honestly still surprises me every day. And that is how beautiful San Francisco is for a city. It's surrounded by water on three sides, which means no matter where you are, you're close to amazing views. Just driving around the Golden Gate Bridge, hiking the Presidio, every turn as you turn your car, you're staring at amazing views like the Alcatraz, Coit Tower, Bay Bridge, and the hills make it even more dramatic with these picturesque, colorful buildings in the neighborhoods and the classic Edwardian and Victorian architecture. But what really sets living in San Francisco apart is how the city is a mix of natural beauty with this historical architecture and iconic views, like the painted ladies across Alamo Park or walking down the beach with the Golden Gate Bridge in the backdrop. It feels like something out of a movie. The other day, I was driving through Presidio, and you're surrounded by eucalyptus trees and the Pacific Ocean on the side. It just makes you feel like you're in Carmel. And then you're roaming through Golden Gate Park with Stowe Lake, the botanical gardens with plants from all over the world, the Japanese tea gardens, outdoor concerts, museums. There's just so many amazing things and places to explore. It'll just blow you away. So, on to number 4. One of my favorite things about San Francisco is how every neighborhood feels like a small town. And there's just such a variety of different neighborhoods with so much culture and rich history. Make sure to check out my video I made about the top 10 most iconic neighborhoods in San Francisco to learn more about how distinct each neighborhood can be. Just to give you an idea, there's North Beach, which is our Little Italy, with the most authentic Italian food and local cultural events all throughout the year. You'll find the best pizza, gelato, cannolis. It'll just make you think you're in Italy. And then you go to the Outer Sunset, and it's totally different. It actually reminds me a lot of Santa Barbara with the surfers riding on their bikes down to the ocean to catch some waves. And there's so many cute, amazing local restaurants. And then you go to the Mission, and you feel like you've been transported to Mexico. There are just bold murals everywhere, tons of authentic hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurants with the most amazing Mexican food and margaritas. But the coolest thing about all the different neighborhoods here is they all have like a tight-knit community within each neighborhood. So wherever you go, you get to know your neighbors and people look out for you. And I realize you probably already knew that we have some of the most iconic and well-known neighborhoods. But what you don't probably know is that once you live in one neighborhood, you really don't want to go far because each neighborhood has a local grocery store, tons of boutique shops, plenty of trendy restaurants and bars, all within walking distance. So most people get lazy and they just go with everything that's close by. You just want to stay where you live or the close neighborhoods nearby. So it's important to pick a neighborhood that fits your lifestyle. And I made a video that's called I'd Move Here, where I go over what neighborhood you would like living in San Francisco based on your lifestyle and what stage of life you're in. So it's all based on the 25 years I've lived here and kind of the stages I've been through. So make sure to check out that video. Before I go on to the last topic, make sure to like this video so more people know what it's really like living in San Francisco. All right, and that brings me to the final thing you should know about living in San Francisco that surprised me, and that is the school system. They use a lottery system, so kids can end up commuting all the way across town. And because of that, a lot of families I know end up choosing private schools instead so their kids can stay in the neighborhood where they live. This is one of the reasons a lot of families can move to Marin or Orinda, where they have public schools that are highly rated and the home prices are often a lot lower than San Francisco. So It's definitely something to think about if you're planning to raise kids while living in San Francisco. So, those are my 5 biggest lessons that I've learned after the 25 years of living in San Francisco. From the parking headaches to the breathtaking views, from the historic homes to the unique neighborhoods, it's a city that is truly one of a kind. If you're thinking about moving to San Francisco and you want to explore the neighborhoods or you want to find the right home, reach out to me. I'm Lisa Vukovic, a San Francisco real estate agent, and I help people just like you find the perfect place in this city. Drop a comment of what you would like to hear about more, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more local insights and home tours in San Francisco.